When he's not speaking, coaching, and training, you'll find Pontsho jogging at the gym, playing football, and reading books about leadership, sales, and personal development. Please welcome Pontsho, the speaking maestro, with his presentation called Living an Intentional Life.
It was March 2022 when I asked myself the most important question: why did I win this race? You see, people don't know why they're living the lives they live. So I had to ponder and ask myself this question: why was I number one? Why was I born? Because when you lack clarity in life, this is the kind of picture you'll have to deal with. You're not sure whether that's a bunny or if that's a rabbit. So my life was like this. I lacked clarity. I did not know what was going on in my life. I was frustrated. I was depressed. Then I had to think about my life. I had to ask myself questions. Why was I born black and not white? Why was I born in South Africa and not the USA? Why was I born a man and not a female? In life, you ask yourself questions at two extremes. Number one, when everything you touch, nothing works out, it's called absolute abject poverty. Number two, when you have everything materialistic, yet you are not fulfilled. That was my life. I had to ask myself those questions. And in order for me to find answers, I had to distance myself from all the distractions that were taking place. I was a social media addict. I couldn't sleep at night because of Twitter, Instagram, all the distractions. Someone would say this, someone would say that, and you'd follow all the paths. So, me sitting with myself and doing self-introspection, I identified my beliefs and values. I had to sit down and ask, what type of beliefs would take me to my destination? What must I do in order for me to get to where I want to do? Because, you see, the first picture on the treadmill, my life was like that. I was running but getting nowhere. Most people's lives are like that. People are running, but are getting nowhere. And then you become weary. But as soon as I identified, and I made sure that I'm living an intentional life, now I was running, getting somewhere. And I had to focus. I had to focus on my life. And that's when I identified my gifts and talents. That's when I said, okay, fine. What am I good at? I focused on everything that I was good at. And then I created a clear vision of where I want to go with my life. I don't know if you guys are reading the Bible, but scripture says, where there is no vision, people perish. So I had to create a vision for myself and say, okay, for me to live an intentional life, this is what I wanted to do. This is where I'm going. Then ideas started flowing in. Started writing down ideas. Okay, I'm good at speaking. I'm not sure that I'm speaking nonsense, but I'm speaking. I'm good at training. People come to me for advice. I give them, even though I don't practice sometimes. Don't judge me. Then I said to myself, okay, what can I do to build, the building blocks? Lay that brick that can take you to the next destination in your life. People are just living unintentionally. And when you don't live intentionally, you can be in front of an opportunity like this. You won't even recognize it. And it's hard living an intentional life. But I always say to people, when life knocks you down, make sure you fall on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. That is me. When you look up, you can get up. Don't quit. But life is hard. And instead of being reactionary to my disappointments, I became offensive, threw in some jabs, because winners have no alternative to victory. They find what needs to be done to achieve victory and then go after it with everything at their disposal. In life, I always say, if you aim at nothing, you will probably hit. So here I had to aim. I had to aim to live an intentional life. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it's hard when you're living life haphazardly. I said to myself, I don't want to die full of my potential. I want to live an intentional life of fulfilling my purpose. Because here, ladies and gentlemen, this is the most richest place on earth. Gifts that were not fulfilled were there. Songs that were not sung are there. In order for you to live an intentional life, you have to ask yourself this question. Who are you? Not your name. Your name is just your label, more like a number plate. Who are you? Identity. It's hard to answer this question. Where do you come from? Not your geographical place. Where do you come from? Who is your source? Who is your source? Where do you come from? You know? So that's how I got to ask myself these questions. And this is the most difficult question on earth. Because research says 2 out of 100 people you meet know why they're here. They know why they won that race I showed you when I started this presentation. Why are you here? This question is hard, ladies and gentlemen. This is the hardest question you can ask anybody, including someone who's sitting on your chair right now. This question is hard. And what can you do? What can you do? This speaks about your potential. Because if you're not living intentionally, you won't even know what you're good at. You won't know your capabilities. And where are you going? Destiny. The vision that I spoke about comes down to this question. Where are you going? Those 5 questions are the hardest question or questions that every human being battles with. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Pontsho.